Good morning. Just wanted to thank you guys for joining us this morning for training. I know we've got some busy schedules going on this time of year, so thank you for your time and also for volunteering to help us out with judging. Just for a quick introduction, I kind of wanted to give a background of who I am and who we are at OSU and what we do and how we're affiliated with Project Lead the Way. My name's Brandy Mays, and I am on this competition the competition organizer or coordinator. But I work with the OSU College of Engineering, Architecture, and Technology, and we're in the Professional Development Department. And our department serves as the outreach arm of the College of Engineering. So we provide continuing education, professional development classes, seminars, and outreach programs to our college as well as industry and other educational entities as needed by demand. And one of the programs that we're able to be affiliated with is Project Lead the Way. We have been an affiliate with them since 2005. I've personally been involved with Project Lead the Way since 2010, and our main goal currently running through our office is the teacher professional development, where we bring teachers in from across Oklahoma and also other states, and we're able to train them in the Project Lead the Way curriculum to go back to their classrooms and show it to their students. So we're really excited about that portion of the program. And with Project Lead the Way, I know Caitlin was a Project Lead the Way student, and just to give a little bit of a background, Raymond, is Project Lead the Way has an engineering curriculum. It has several pathways: Gateway to Technology, now the Elementary Launch Program. But the engineering pathway has a variety of different disciplines, and it allows the students to use open-ended problem solving and learn the engineering design process. And as they go through the pathway, the last class is Engineering Design and Development, which is the senior capstone class, which kind of comes to where this competition is originated. Oklahoma has had an EDD competition in the past. It has been ran through the tech centers, and it's kind of been a little bit more intermittent in how it's run and who is running it, as well as it's been more of the style of, if a student has a project, they bring it and they present it at the showcase, which has been an awesome thing for the last few years. Now that Project Lead the Way has this innovation portal, it allows us to do things a little bit on a bigger scale in regards to really getting a lot of judges and people involved, and everything can be done all virtually. The students upload their projects in this portal, and then you're able to go in and judge that after in a certain, and I'll go over that as far as what the guidelines are in regards to what our dates are. So we're excited about that. OSU, as the affiliate, took over offering this competition. We're really excited about our inaugural competition this year. We're excited because we have actually 32 submissions right now in the portal, and we think that's a great number, especially for our first year and the first time using the portal. And we're hoping to close out submissions today at 9:00 p.m. So potentially there could be more submissions come in. I know those students that are going to wait to the last minute to get their projects in, and that's no problem, and we're excited to have them come in. So at that point in time, and on Monday, I think I'm going to be working with Mark, and we're going to get all those submissions distributed out to the judges using the portal. And Mark's going to go into more detail on exactly how that works. But our timeline for judging is going to be May 18th through May 30th. So it'll be a couple weeks to get all the projects scored by all the judges. We're hoping to, depending on numbers, we're hoping that each project might get to be scored 3 times. And so, but each judge will only be scoring hopefully 3 to 6 projects. So they won't be scoring all 32. That's way too much time, and having this virtual innovation portal is going to allow us to do that, and so that's a great opportunity for us. Then we're going to be able to present the top 3 teams at the OSU EDD Showcase. We're excited about that, June 12th. It's going to be here in Stillwater, Oklahoma at the Alumni Center. We are going to also invite other teams that have submitted projects to come and showcase their project around the room, and then we're going to be inviting all the judges and anyone that has been involved with competition, as well as industry professionals out there that's interested in the STEM curriculum across the state. We're going to be inviting them to the event. So we're excited about all of that. It's a great opportunity for OSU to host this and to start having an annual event. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark Schroll. He works with the Project Lead the Way National Office. He's actually in Wisconsin, but he works with the Innovation Portal as well as setting up these state competitions. And he's going to go over the process and how it all works. And if you guys have any questions, you can please let us know. But we're just really happy to have you here.
All right, perfect, Brandy. Thank you. Okay, so the Innovation Portal, to give you a kind of mental image to work from, the outline of the training I have, the short training I have for you this morning, is very much like you might imagine if somebody asks you to judge a science fair, with the exception that you have 2 weeks to grade as opposed to an afternoon. The idea of what we're doing today is if you were to show up and come to a competition, you might be handed a clipboard and assigned some portfolios, then given some direction on the rubric used to grade, how to do that. We'll do that today as well, and then how to find out on the floor, if you would, your portfolios, and then run out and do that kind of work. We just kind of put all that in a virtual sense, and as opposed to the scientific method, embedded the design process around all of these projects. So we wanted to show you what the experience from the student's end is, what it looks like for them, what it looks like for you, how to access the portfolios assigned to you, and prior to that, if you haven't done it already, to connect your Innovation Portal account. We'll ask you to create an Innovation Portal account if you haven't done so already, and then connect that to the competition. And then once you're connected, as soon as all of the portfolios are in, ready to be scored, there's an algorithm in the back that will disseminate the portfolios to you electronically. So I just wanted to give you a view of what that system looks like. How do I answer the questions for you as a judge? How do I get my Innovation Portal account connected to the competition if I haven't done it? What does the interface look like? How do I find the score sheets? Where's the rubric? All that kind of thing. So that's kind of the direction we're heading today. So if any of you have questions at any time, please feel free to unmute yourself or just ask directly, and we'll pause, because this is for you. Also, we'll make available on the screen at the moment both my email address and Brandy's. If at any time you have questions or concerns about the functionality of the Innovation Portal, or if you have technical issues or questions about the rubric, they can come to me, and we have a wealth of information beyond what I'm going to show you that we can help as well. If you have questions about the competition itself, those go right to Brandy. So with that, I just want to offer this for you. The first order of business, if you haven't already, is to create an Innovation Portal account of your own. To do that, just go to innovationportal.org and click the register button. The Air Force Academy, and they had a bunch of students using the Innovation Portal, and they reported back to me that it takes an average of 3 minutes and 12 seconds to register for an account. Now, why they gave me that information, I don't know, but it cracked me up, and I love sharing that story. Very efficient, the Air Force Academy. But it doesn't take long to register, and then once you register, you'll enter an email address associated with that. And that email address is going to be very important to Brandy. So the first thing to do is create an Innovation Portal account and make sure that you can get into it. Once you've done that, send Brandy a message saying, here's the email I used to create my account. What she'll do is she'll take your email address and then put it into the system. She has a competition administrator's dashboard, and she'll send you an electronic invitation that will come to you, a second email from the Innovation Portal. and then you can accept it. And if you click the accept button, all it does is connect your account to the Oklahoma competition, and then kind of upgrades your permission rights, your status to be able to accept and view some portfolios. And then once you accept the invitation, you're connected, and that's all we have to do for now. So if you haven't done that yet, and if you have questions about that, we can certainly address them here in this meeting or afterwards, if your schedule allows. On the screen at the moment is, I thought it would be give you a depiction of what's happening in the background. The students represented on the left-hand side of the screen, the Innovation Portal offers, there's a rubric connected to it, and if you'll picture in your mind a portfolio with little tabs sticking out the side. One of the ways that we're able to scale competitions like this one to any size and things is we partnered with the National Science Foundation and a whole host of engineering educators around the country, and started for about 3 years, talked about what were the attributes of the design process that were being graded at the university level, at the high school level, that could be identified and turned into a rubric. That was turned over to a rubric specialist. And so the rubric that you'll be using to grade, and this is of note to the judges, is the same rubric that the students see from day one. So when they create a portfolio, again, if you'll picture in your mind a 3-ring binder sitting in front of you with those little tabs, there are an exact number of tabs. There's an exact rubric for each one of those tabs. And basically the students are asked, place the evidence of this particular attribute here. And so as a judge, it allows you to take portfolios from anywhere and compare and contrast them evenly, and we'll show you that. So the point was that the students have the same resources that I'm going to show you. They've been building their portfolios up till this week. They've registered for this competition already, and they can register even up till this afternoon. They've been building their portfolios, and as Brandy mentioned earlier, they're starting to submit. So as they get their portfolios relative to that rubric and those examples all set and documented the way they want it, once they submit it, the system takes a copy of everything that they've done. Literally makes a copy of the portfolio, so that's videos that they may have inserted, links, documents, everything of the portfolio as it existed at that minute, and then they start submitting them into the competition, which is what they're doing. By 9 o'clock tonight, the submission window will close, and then we'll handle any side cases if there were technical issues or anything. But by tomorrow morning, Brandy will have, it's her in the middle, represented in blue. She'll have this body of portfolios that have been submitted to the competition. The slide before this one represents all of the judges over there on the right, and your bucket, if you would, is empty at the moment. Even if you are connected to the competition and go look at it, it will say there are no portfolios at the moment because Brandy hasn't distributed them yet. So come Monday morning, late morning, we will push the algorithm button in the background, and it will look something like this. Come Monday afternoon, it will take and she'll set the algorithm to say, I want each portfolio graded this many times, and for none of my judges to see the same portfolio twice. So one of the points there is you won't be seeing all of the portfolios, you'll just be seeing the ones assigned to you, very analogous to that clipboard and the 3 scoring sheets, if you would, that kind of thing. One of the notes about judging, once you, like I said, we're about to show you the interface, but one of the things about judging, we wanted you to be able to do this at your leisure. So you have 2 weeks to do this from any internet connection. And there's a couple ways to judge. When I show you the scoring sheet, one method is judges have told us, well, I like to grade one and then submit it, and then grade another and submit it, and then grade a third and submit it. Another way to judge, it's perfectly fine, is to kind of grade everything but not submit. I want to come back and look at this one, and then I'll go on to the second portfolio and grade it, and then kind of compare it to my first work. And when I have all of the works in front of me set the way I want them, then I'm going to go back in and then as a last action, just go submit each one individually. That's perfectly fine too. The system's set up to do that. So if either one of those methods kind of rang a bell of truth in your head at the moment saying, that's me, I'll show you how to do that as we go. But when you receive the portfolios, like the little animation on the screen at the moment, Brandy has a message saying, if I'm one of her judges, Mark has been assigned 3 portfolios, and he's, it just says they're in progress. As I finish one and submit it, the scores are not taken away from me as a judge, nor are my comments. Brandy's just allowed to see a copy of what you've submitted. But the point there is that once you do push the submit score button, you can see it and review it, but you can't edit it at that point. So every time as the scores are submitted to Brandy, they are averaged, and much like a very interactive spreadsheet, the higher scores climb to the top of the list, and the lower scores, consecutively downward. So that's kind of the background of what's happening in the innovation portal. Again, I wanted to emphasize that the resources I'm about to show you, the same interface, the same resources, minus the score sheet, the students have been working on since day one. They are able to create a portfolio and then connect it to their partners, whether they're in the same room or across the country. So if you and I were partners, I could work on this portion of the portfolio, you could work on that portion of the portfolio. You can have as many partners as you like. You can connect that work, and students have been, with their teacher, who can use the same system, the classroom tool version of the same system you're about to use as a judge, to give feedback relative to the rubric, saying, oh, I think you guys are at a 2. You need to have more sources relative to the rubric. So they've been getting that kind of feedback, and I wanted you to have that in the back of your head as well. And they also connect that in the same way with their project mentors and subject matter experts relative to their portfolio, who've been feeding these students information. So they've been building these portfolios, and then when the portfolios are ready, they can submit it to competitions. And because the structure of the rubric and the structure that the Innovation Portal allows, the same body of work, the judges in the Oklahoma competition use the same rubric as the judges in the Conrad Foundation, which is a national competition for students. And there are students from Oklahoma who can enter the same work in either one of those opportunities and see how they fare. And then relative to the portal itself, students can create as many portfolios for as many classes as they want, and they get to keep them forever and can continue to work on them. So that's kind of a background of the classroom tool and how it's connected to the chance for competitions. This is the last slide in the kind of introductory presentation before I jump over to the interface, but I wanted to offer that Brandy will be sending all of you 4 things. 3 of them are represented here, 4 resources. One is a PDF, kind of a step-by-step visual guide of how to access my portfolios. It's just going to be what I'm showing you here, but we thought you might want to have that as a PDF version as a resource. The other 2 pieces, one's called the reflective questions. I'll be showing you those. They're embedded in the portal. They literally start with the phrase, did you offer the reviewers of this portfolio these things? And some of our judges have requested, well, I can see them online, but I'd prefer to have a printed copy of those questions, and also the third thing represented on this slide, the complete rubric. I'd rather have a physical copy of the rubric and just use my screen to access the student work, because I feel more comfortable that way, which is perfect. So we're making sure that you have those resources available. And the last thing, the 4th thing, before I jump, I'll pause and see if I've generated any questions, but the 4th thing is that we are recording this session and have recorded the other judges' training session as well. And I'll turn that into a YouTube link, and Brandy will send that out and make that available to you. So if any part of this process you want to kind of fast forward through the video and say, that's the part I forgot, you can do that as well. So I'm going to pause for just a moment and find out if Caitlin, you or Raymond have any questions so far before I show you what the interface looks like. I'm going to pretend I'm a judge and I'm going to jump into a competition and show you what that would look like. So,
no questions here, Mark.
Okay, thanks, Raymond. You good too, Caitlin?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's do that then. Let's see if I can escape out of that, minimize that. Okay, so when you go to the Innovation Portal, I'm already logged in here, so I'm just going to log out just to show you what it's like. If you haven't created an account, you come to the Innovation Portal. One of the things to note as a judge, as we did our design requirements for the Innovation Portal, what teachers needed, what university professors would like and would want in all of this, and embedding that rubric, we found out that there was no reason to create, actually there are reasons against, to create a teacher account, a judge's account, a student account. There's just an account, because we found out that people play sometimes many roles, at the same time. So when you come to your account and you create all that, if you've used the Remember Me button like I have here, just enter the login and password for you. So I'm going to log in here, but the point I want to show you is that the Innovation Portal defaults to where the most use is, where the students create portfolios. And here on the screen, you can see that I have 70 of them there that have created. This is not where you want to be as a judge, but I just wanted to know that it wanted you to be aware that it defaults you to, okay, you want to create and work with portfolios. And actually, you don't. If you don't have any portfolios and are new to the Innovation Portal, it will literally say you don't have any portfolios. Here's some links to some resources on how to get started. As a judge, once you're logged in, we want to jump down here to the little megaphone icon that says Opportunities. These are the opportunities, the competitions, if you will, and the word opportunity has been chosen because we were in conversation with some industries who have internships for both high school and college students, and they said we'd much rather see the portfolios as part of the application or the application than the usual transcripts we get, and can we arrange that? So the word competition doesn't really fit well there. It's there's no prize. There's no scholarship. They're actually applying for a job. But if you can picture a square from, say, Martin or Chevron up here, those are some of the conversations we're having at the moment. But as you click opportunities, you can see the Oklahoma competition here. And I'm not going to click on this one at the moment because it's running. I mean, you can click on it and see the details as students have done. But you will be looking for this one when you're connected as a judge. But here's one of the most is a fault on our part in terms of design. This is not really intuitive. As soon as the clock ticks past 9 o'clock this evening, this Oklahoma competition will jump into this past competition. So I'm going to click this button, but in other words, the Wisconsin, Minnesota competition and the new product assessment opportunity, those are all available for students to submit to. But after 9 o'clock, they won't be able to submit. So though it's not intuitive, I'll need you to click the past button, and your competition will exist here with the other ones. The Illinois competition ended about a week ago, Kansas City about a week prior to that, very similar to what we're doing here. So you'll see Oklahoma in this group, but you'll need to click the past button to get there. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use this competition that I'm circling with my cursor, the NSF Prime Scoring Workshop. So if you'll just insert Oklahoma competition, you click past, click on the Oklahoma competition, and what I want to draw your attention to is this bar at the top. Though there are only two things here, it defaults to the view of the description of the competition. This reviews button, because you logged in, the system knows that you're connected to the Oklahoma competition, and it allowed this reviews link. So I'm going to click on reviews, and I'm connected as a judge, and I'll see my name. You'll see your name there. I have 48 portfolios here. If Brandy gives you 48 portfolios, please send her an evil email. She's not going to send you 48. She's going to send you between 3 and 6. And it would look very much like this. So there would be your name, the email associated with your account, and then the list of the portfolios that were assigned to you. I want to draw your attention to this word complete right here. This is just a piece of feedback for you as a judge. What that's letting me know is that for this particular project, I have already submitted it to whatever competition. I've graded it, and it's showing me that you have already done the work. I'm going to roll on down here to, here's one, of engineering. This group down here, this is a review or a score that is still active. I haven't submitted it. So if these were the 3 different portfolios I was assigned, one way as a judge that you can go back and just check yourself, even though you'll get feedback messages. If this says complete, 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 I know my work is done. But I'm going to jump inside of engineering here. Just click on the title. And before I mentioned the 3-ring binder with the tab sticking out the side, here it is in the interface. Over on the right-hand side are the tabs. I'm going to mouse over them in a moment. As you mouse over, it jumps out and tells you what each tab is. The portfolios default to the cover page. And on the cover page, students typically put pictures of themselves, talk about their school, maybe some background information about the reason that they chose the project that they did. There's nothing to score here, but you can certainly access that information. But I want to let you know that it defaults to the cover page. As I mouse down here to the letters, the element letters, so the rubric specialists call them elements. These are the steps of the design process: the presentation and justification of the problem, documentation, of prior solutions, what other people have tried and why they haven't worked. What are the design from that research? What are the design requirements that your research has told you your solution should be able to do? Are they measurable? Those kinds of things. Each one of these little steps or these containers, if you would, is where the students have put the artifacts relative to those elements. So let's go to element A, and I'm going slow on purpose, but I just wanted to show you the interface. When I click on A, the tab stays blue. Also, it writes the word element A right on the student work. And I have a scroll mouse on this end. If I scroll up and down, you can see what the students in this group have submitted as part of the presentation and justification of the problem. As a judge, we talked about the clipboard and access to what is the rubric, how do I access the rubric, what am I judging against. I want to show you 2 ways to access that. The first is the same way that the students access it. When they have the same interface, when they mouse over A, they get a lot of information in the side panel. The first that's most evident is the score descriptors are very AP-like in that there's 0 through 5 scores. It defaults to the highest score possible of 5. Here is the wording from the rubric itself. And the rubric experts told us as you click on each one of these to think of a staircase going down. Their job was to take what all those university professors were saying and to create an evenly spaced staircase. So some of the wording will be repeated, but as you go down in scores, the requirements are less and less refined. They become a little bit more vague and things like that. So as a judge, the idea here is best fit. So if you see that the entry, say this one we're looking at, number 2 best describes it. It's not everything, but it's way more than a 1. Certainly not enough to be a 3. Then a 2 is a 2, and that's how you do it. But this is not how you score. This is just how you access the rubric. So this is one resource for you as a judge. Another one is for students, and we found it very useful for judges on the feedback, is this pull-down menu, where I mentioned before, Socratic questions, if you would, based on this rubric. Did you offer the reviewers of this portfolio these items? So these are a clear and concise problem statement that has justification that it's timely. So if students are offering justification from the 40s and 50s, maybe that's timely in the context of their project, maybe it's not. But these are the things that as you try to, students read these, if you are trying to address each of these bullet points, you're getting closer and closer to a 5. So we found these to be helpful for judges as well. So I'm going to close that panel. I'm going to look at 5, and then I'm going to jump down here to one more thing that is available for you, not required, but sometimes it's helpful as a judge to see what others have looked at. I mentioned before that this project has been associated with an very large NSF grant, a number of universities. Over the past 4 years, we've taken college level, high school level, and even upper level middle school projects that were documented on the Innovation Portal, and with parental and student permission, we've pulled those portfolios from the Innovation Portal, redacted names and organizations, and then put them in front of lots of graders, usually university professors who teach engineering design, and they were doing the inter-rater reliability studies, if you would, relative to the rubric. So when dozens of university professors look at something and say, that's what a 3 looks like, and they all scored it as a 3, we were allowed to take those samples and put them back on the Innovation Portal as a teaching tool, but they also can be very valuable as a judge. So I'm going to show you one here. I'm sorry. If we have one, so here's a 3. If there's one available, and there should be one available for, I think, all but 2 score descriptors in the whole bunch here, there is an example for you to look at down there. So I just clicked this to see it, and I wanted to draw your attention to the top of the screen. It didn't take me away from the student's work. It just opened a new tab so I could review it. So I just want to show you one of these. You can access them quickly or slowly. I just wanted you to know that they were there, and the students had these as well. Here's the summation of what all the graders who found this to be a 3, what they were saying. This is why it's a 3, why it's not a 4, what it could, why it's not a 2, those kinds of things. This is where it fits in the steps of the design process rubric. Here's the entire rubric, that's stair-step. Again, there's redundancy in the language, but again, less refined as you get to a 0. And then as you go down, this is what the students submitted. And this is I love this project. I didn't know that this was a problem, and I live in Wisconsin, but it turns out the LED lights that we put in stoplights to save energy, as opposed to incandescent bulbs, are causing a great problem in the north. They are not saving any money. So electrically they are, but they're costing municipalities like 5 times as much as the incandescent bulbs did. And it has to do with the fact that during inclement weather, the residual heat of incandescent bulbs was enough to keep the lenses clear of accumulation on the lenses. But now that LEDs produce almost no heat, the accumulation of snow, sleet, and stuff gets caught up in the lenses and covers them completely. And so these students have found many cases. I'll try to zoom in a little bit here. Sorry, many cases from January 2010 when they submitted, 2009 accident reports and articles showing that people were having, that the cost was going up, that it was causing accidents, it was causing instances all over. Here's one from ABC News. This particular group of students also offered some excerpts of interviews that they did with traffic engineers. This engineer states that they tried 2 different products and nothing was working so far. And then finally another article that they submitted. And here's a good picture of what was happening. So it was a great project, and if you can solve this one, I think you could retire early from the sound of it. There's a lot of people having this issue. But this is how they documented that the problem was worth going after and that it was still a real problem. And this was found to be a 3 relative to the rubric. So we found that these resources are helpful, certainly as classroom tools, but also from a judge's point of view. So for each one of the elements, you don't have to use those resources, but I wanted to make sure that you understood what was available in this panel. So that's how you can access the rubric. Let's take a look at the score sheet real quick. So we're on letter A, or element A. The score sheet is this blue triangle in the lower right-hand corner. As I click the little pen quill, it throws the score sheet over the top of the student's work. Again, I'll roll my scroll mouse up and down. This was an exercise in screen real estate for programming. So again, this may be why you'd like to have a printed copy in front of you and just access the work. But you can read the scores. If the score sheet's in the way, you can close and open it at will. But I wanted to show you this is where you actually enter a score and what that looks like. Let's say we were all looking at this as a judge, and we found this one. This is we think that's the best fit is a 3. There's another way to access the rubric, this little plus sign here that I'll share. It puts a little floating rubric in front of you, and again, it's best fit, so you can go back and forth and zero in, say, okay, I want to read 2 again. After reading 2 and with the idea of what these students have submitted, I still think this is a 3 and not a 4, so 3 is best fit. I'll close the rubric, and I've chosen a 3 over here. You don't have to, but if you want to offer some explanation or some suggestions on what the students could have done, I'm going to put some, show you my wonderful typing skills and put some data in there. There's no save button. It's been the system has saves every few seconds. So if you get called away, even if you log off your computer and come back to this spot, you can take over right where you left off. So again, grading at your leisure. But we've just essentially graded element A. So I mean, it's, you don't even have to close that. I do want to throw a couple things in here. So we'll grade A and B. Same thing. Here's B, prior solution attempts, all the resources before. The score sheet down here. Again, let's just zero in. Let's say these guys, we zeroed in and they've done this. We think they've done this particular portion very, very well. And we're going to add some text here. I'm doing this for a purpose because I want to show you how you get to review your work. And we've done that for element A and B. As you walk down through the rubric, some of these are very quick. Some take a little bit longer. They're just the steps of the design process and, again, the rubric. But I do want to draw your attention to letters M and N. So I'm going to click M down here. Letters M, as a group of programmers and designers, we've made a mistake. We've done it for the students, but we should do it for the judges. It says no content available. There's no content possible. The designers of this rubric chose M and N to be holistic grades. They are about how well the students communicated. So that is represented when you read and examine the rubric. But we should have made and we plan to make a comment up here that it's not even possible for the students to submit anything in M and N, excuse me. They're just here because it's part of this system and it keeps the structure the same. So let's take a look at M. It talks about how well they've presented the work in letters A through L. Letter N, we'll add a score there. This is how writing like an engineer. Did they explain their data? If they put an acronym in there, did they consider the audience when doing this? Could somebody pick up this portfolio, understand the work, and continue the work forward? That was very important to all of the engineering professors who looked at this work. So we're going to add a score here to N, just so I can show you that. We're going to say they did a 3, and again I'll create some text down in this work. But when you have gone through one of these portfolios and entered a score all the way down, again it saves as you go. How do you submit it? I'm going to draw your attention to the top of the screen, and I'm going to click the complete review button. This is very analogous to buying something on Amazon. It just gives you is this what you wanted to see? So you see the gibberish I typed in for letter A, the score of 3 and 4. It lets you know that if you miss something, they all default to question marks, which is also the score of a 0 at the moment. But if you missed one, you can just hit the back button and go back and do it. But as you review the work that you entered and the scores, you say, yep, that's what I wanted these students to have. As a judge, you have a choice at this moment. You can just say, okay, I want to go in that process where I score everything first before I submit it, because I may change my mind. I want to keep it very fluid. At this point, you just jump back into opportunities and go to the next portfolio and then score that way. If, on the other hand, you wanted to submit this or you were ready to submit it, if you look at the bottom of the screen, the last thing you need to do as a judge really is to understand that after clicking, this message just says, when you click this button, you won't be able to edit anymore. You get to keep a copy and you can review that, but there's no way to pull it back out of the system. So if you understand that, I'm going to say, okay, I understand that. These are the scores. When you hit complete review, you get a message that it's been successful, and then it takes you back, jumps you back to portfolios. So we're going to go back and I'm going to take a look at that same of engineering review. So I entered the system again, like I'm going to go back to another portfolio. But again, I just wanted you to have an idea of what we built. There it is, of engineering had the word active before, but now complete. And as I mentioned before, as a judge, then I would go on to the sewage problem, and as soon as that said complete and the clean water said complete, I can easily come back and check to see if my work is done. I can always go back and access the student work and my comments as a judge. You can do that weeks from now. So let's do that. If I want to go back and look at of engineering, I've already submitted this, but if you click up here, review summary, you can see the same work, but you can see that the ability to submit or make any changes has been it's been solidified or locked in stone. So that's kind of a look at the whole interface, how you access the rubric online, the scoring sheet, the resources that the students had that you have as well, how you score and review your scores, a couple of methodologies for judging, whichever is most comfortable to you, and then in the end, how you submit the scores back to Brandy so she can incorporate them into the competition. Are there any, did this generate any questions, or is there any part of it you'd like me to go back and review or highlight again? Either I've done an amazing job or I've put you both to sleep, one of the two.
That was good. That was very informative.
Okay, great. Thank you. We tried to make it as easy as possible. It's not entirely intuitive, which is the reason we had these judges training sessions. Thank you, Raymond. So again, we will be sending you a copy of this recording, and you have our email, somewhere in the process to contact us if you have issues with the system at all as a judge or questions. Please let me know, and I'll respond quickly. And we know that. You'll be after this for the next couple of weeks, but again, grade at your leisure, stop and start, not a problem.
What would you say the average review time is for each portfolio?
It's an excellent question. We've asked that we've had hundreds of judges in competitions. The feedback is generally First of all, the submissions themselves will be a whole gambit. You'll get some, just like a science fair, you get some that are kind of incomplete, and if they are incomplete, just score it, stick to the rubric, and if they get a zero, they get a zero. And then some that are very robust. So the average in there, Raymond, is about like the first one they say takes about an hour because you're getting used to the system and the rubric and stuff. But it's very much like grading anything else. The next bunch go quicker. So the first one takes the longest, about an hour, and then after that it's 40 minutes or so.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent question. Any questions from you, Caitlin? Relative?
No, I've been through this process, so it's just interesting to see the other side.
Yeah. Okay. Brandy, do you have any last comments for either of these two or about the competition itself?
No, but I just want to thank them again. But also, I will be sending those documents that Mark had outlined at the beginning of the PowerPoint. I'll be sending those to each of you, along with the YouTube link, so that you can get to this recording and also the other session recording, because every session has different questions or different a few different things that you might be able to see, just so that you can have that available to you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll be happy to help you. And again, thank you.